Is anyone in there?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Dad.
Hi, Max.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm preparing. I'm making some neon.
Okay.
You want to see how it's done?
Yes.
See how you have your little camera?
Yeah.
Okay, here, I'll show you. Well, here we are. I'm going to make a letter E off this pattern, the open pattern, the classic. I'm going to make this letter E for Max. That's Max working the camera, Max Johnson. I'm Greg Johnson, the good-looking Greg Johnson, they call me. Actually, they call me Vanilla Overload. That's my street name, Vanilla Overload. But you can just call me Greg. I'm going to make this letter E. First, I'm using clear glass because I'm going to fill this tube full of red gas, which is this one right here. This is what this tube will look like when I'm done, right there, right by John's face. Okay, so first off, this is fire. Behind me, fire, hot, dangerous, extra dangerous. But it's not hot enough. I need it to go like a point. I need it to get really hot because I have to melt this in there. And I could stand here all day and nothing would happen. So I go back there, hit a switch. Underneath there, on the floor, we have a turbine. It looks like a little tiny jet engine. And that's what fills up. There's a big tube underneath the bench that gets filled up full of air. And that's what produces the air. So you'll see a little bit, it's not high pressure, it's just like a steady pressure. You'll see what happens when we fill this fire full of oxygen. And here we go.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. So now we have the fires going. Now you can see it's not like regular fire. It's very pointy. So it's really hot now. Like if you stuck your hand in there, you'd be screaming like a little girl. But you don't want to. You don't want to put your hand in there over it. You know, you put your hand, you can feel the heat. So my hands will get real close, but they won't go in the fire. I'm going to be using this fire here. As soon as we get it to work. I'm going to be using this fire for most of it to do all the bending for this letter E. I can use this one, but it's like driving a car in first gear. You'll get there, but it takes too long. I'll stand on the far side and I'll have to come around each time. Normally I'd be facing like this. And unless you like to look at my backside, that's not a good view. So I'm going to roll to the other side. My first bend is a 90-degree bend. I'm going to heat up the glass, bend it, and I blow in this end a little bit so the glass doesn't crunch down. Okay, here we go. Can you see me, Max?
Yeah, I can see your body and the fire and what you're doing.
Okay. Well, here we go. It's getting hotter. It's a straight tube, and it's glass, so it takes a little while. Now I can feel it getting hot, and you can see that it's getting hot. See, now I can move the glass a little bit. So, but that's not hot enough. I need it to be hot enough to be out of control. So, here we go. Little puffs, I take a look at it, that's good enough. And then I set it down. I still have a little bit more time, I can move it around. And right there, my time's up. And that's it, now it's getting hard. It's still really hot, so you wouldn't want to put your hand on it. Now I'm going to make another mark. Now I make marks so I know where I'm going. Just like a map, I got to follow it. So now I'm going to make another bend called a double back. So I'm going to go back this way. Not really going to adjust the fire any because I'm lazy. I'll just leave it the way it is. So now I go back and forth to heat all the sides of the glass. So now I'm going back and forth to heat all sides of the glass. And what I do is I kind of push it together, but I kind of don't. I just think about pushing it together, but I don't. Now it's starting to get soft again. So now I'm just going to work it and let all that glass go around the bottom. And then I start to do my bend. And there we go. Now I better run around here. And I can check it on the pattern. Sweet. Now I make another mark. I got to drop it down, back down to the table, so I'm going that way. Just like that. It's a letter E. So I make my marks, and now I'm going back to the fire. I won't adjust it again because I'm lazy. Now this one, I go back and forth. I'm trying to stay away from that first 90-degree bend I made. I try to stay off of it. You're going to get close, so you got to work kind of fast. And I try to get everything around those lines good and hot, so when I lay it back down, you know, it's going to lay down on the pattern. So I heat a little bit past the lines to make sure everything that's in between the lines is about the same temperature. I've been doing neon for a while. It's kind of died because this thing called LED came. But I don't really do it much for channel letters at our own shop. It's mostly just for fun now. And here we go. And then I get it to the pattern. Anywhere, I'm just looking for a straight line, because I know that E is a straight line up. Just like that. And it's ready to go. It's hot, but it's done. So that's the start of an E. There's the face of the E. So now I got two more 90s, a couple double backs, and I'm ready to roll. So again with a mark, sometimes I'll do 3, like I'm doing now. Sometimes I'll do 1 if I'm lazy. Just the way it goes. A little puff. And down to the pattern. Or we lose it. Then I line it up on the pattern. Get a good 90. You know, and it's still, I still have time. It can still move now a little bit. So I get it in the spot. Then I got one more 90 to do. So there's my marks. Back to the fire. Seems like a lot of fire time. But it started out as a straight piece of glass, and now it's turned into a sign. Got to be a little more creative as you get up in here now. It's grabbing on my sweatshirt, so I don't want to fight me. And I try not to put my hand over the glass, over the fire, I mean, because that thing's hot. And this is just that I got to go up with it, just enough. A little offset, like a plumbing pipe. There it goes. Just like that. And back with the puffing. So it's going to blow in there to keep it from crushing down flat. And now we can see the pattern side. How the pattern feels. We're going to make the letter P right here. So first, I want to bend the roundy part. So I take my hose. This one I blow into if I'm not using my mouth, but I'm talking. Measure how long the P is around from here to here. And I can put these marks on the glass. I'll just put it right here. And then we open the fire up. And now it just gets loud and annoying. Make sure I can travel that way. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to heat up and land on this. Now this takes a little bit longer. I'm heating a little bit wider of a spot. I'm in the mood for love, simply because you're near me. Funny, but when you're near me, I'm in the mood for love. There we go. And I bend it to the pattern. This I use just in case it's not sitting flat. It seemed like it was sitting flat enough though. There we go. Now I need to get this one out of the way. So we'll go back with the double back going this way to follow the pattern. So I'll put my mark here. It's hot still, so this thing it'll heat up real fast. Get a short flame here. I'll go here so you can really see it good. So I do a double back and then I bring it down to the pattern, then adjust it to the pattern so it's on its way. Everyone bends a little differently. I bend with I don't care attitude, I guess. Oh, she's hot fast, huh? Okay, here we go. Then I put it down on the pattern where it goes, and then I adjust to the direction that I want to go to meet up with the E that we already bent. Just like that, good enough. Pencil, 90, oh, I'll put the lines in there so you can see. I put the marks on there. Almost didn't put all the marks. And that's a letter P. Right there you go. A letter P. Alright, now we're going to bend the bottom of the P. So it's got to go up and that way. Heating up all the sides, getting them hot. You zoomed in on this part.
Do you want me to?
Getting all the sides hot. The torch is in the way on me. And then, you bend. Little puff.
Scoot over to the right a little. Good.
And I line it up to the pattern. And it's on its way to the yoke. So there we go. The letter P. P for platypus. That's good enough for me.